Oh man, it's early. And the reason it's so early and why I'm awake is because I'm currently about to drive to Louisiana. Alright guys, like I said, I am heading to Louisiana for a couple of days. It's not really going to be much of a herping trip because there is a huge cold front coming in that's going to make it cold. Probably too cold to really even expect to see any snakes, much less anything exciting. So, nevertheless, I'm going to try and see what we can turn up. But today, the main goal is to find 2 salamander species I've never seen, the Gulf Coast Waterdog and the Valentine's dusky salamander, both of which are kind of endemic to this part of the southeast, Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and eastern Texas, I believe. So, anyways, I've got a bit of a drive ahead of me. I will check in with you guys when we get there. I'm going to be hanging out with Armin today, and my buddies Reed and Steven are going to meet me too. So anyways, I will check in with you guys when I get where I'm going. I've got about 5 more hours in the car, so it's going to be quite the drive. Hopefully there won't be too much traffic. This is the Sunday after Thanksgiving, so I bet a lot of people are going to be on the road. Alright everyone, I have made the long drive, and I am here in southeast Louisiana. You might recognize this guy. But today, we're getting after something a little bit different. We're going to be looking for salamanders. Armin says he sees lots of Desmognathus here. Probably the same species we have at home, Conanti. But always interesting to see him in new places. And he's already got some traps set out for water dogs that we're going to check. And if that fails, I might get into the creek and try to dip net a little bit. So we're going to get after it, and I'll keep you guys posted. And sure enough, right here, couple of logs in, we had our first salamander, something I was not really expecting to see. Southern two-line salamander. I'm not sure how close we are to the edge of these guys' range, but it's got to be pretty close. We see lots of these guys obviously back home, but this is my first one from Louisiana, I think, so we're going to photograph him real quick and let him go. Alright guys, here's our next species for the day. This is a 3-line salamander, another common species at home in Georgia. But one I'm not sure I've seen here, so pretty cool to see this guy in Louisiana and add to our tally for the day. Armin says these guys are pretty common at this spot, so we might see a couple more. And yet another salamander species. This guy looks to be a spotted dusky salamander rather than the Valentine's dusky salamander, which is the other species that could possibly be here. And disappointingly so, because we do have these guys in Georgia and they're pretty common. So we'll probably have to try some other sites in a different location to try to get Valentine, but nice to add this guy to the species list. Here's another larger spotted dusky salamander, but definitely spotteds and not Valentine or Valentini. It's a hard word to say. Anyways, this is like number 5 at this point, so
yeah, it's been.
Guess who else is here? Steven and Sophia and Reed.
We made it.
And we've got a slimy salamander. This guy is probably Mississippi slimy here, which would make him my 2nd ever Mississippi slimy. So pretty cool. We're going to photograph him too. All right, Armin's going to pull in some traps for us here. We're going to see how they did.
Normally I just stand right down there.
Uh-oh. It's making noise.
Anybody? No.
Nada.
We got a few more shots.
1 down, 2 to go. Oh, we got flopping. Dog!
Yeah.
Dog!
Yeah.
Dog!
Yeah.
Dog!
All right, where'd he go?
All right, dogs.
That's a good sight. That's a small one, but hey, we'll take it, you know.
Get those dads out of there so we can get to the dog.
Try him.
Look at the size of that guy. That's way bigger than the ones I've seen. So you get them significantly bigger? Look at all these dads.
Twice as big, I think.
That's crazy, dude. Big dog energy.
What a creature. Neato, huh? Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyone know what the Oh, these are Gulf Coast water dogs. Nectarus byri.
Gotta do better, you know, looking for snakes.
All right, final trap.
Yeah,
just dads in there.
Just dads.
Well, that was unexpected. I just took a big scoop of dip net from right there, and up in it came a 3-line salamander. I don't know what he thinks he's doing on the bottom of this creek, but I mean, you do your thing, bro. All right, guys, we have transferred this incredible dog to this little tank here where we're gonna take some pictures of him before letting him go. Reflections are horrible, but you get the gist. You saw him come up in the trap. It was awesome. Oh yeah, that does look better. High-tech Armin technology. Flashlight in the bag. And you can get a better look at this dog. Like I said, this is the Gulf Coast Waterdog. It has recently come to the light of science that there are very many more species of water dogs than we originally thought. Eye once was considered to span all of the Gulf Coast ranges, and recently another species was described, the one that you saw in my previous video with the water dogs in Georgia, and that would be Necturus molari. So, and there's probably going to be more descriptions coming, so plenty of diversity in these guys, even though it's not really obvious on the surface. They all look kind of similar, but this guy is much larger than the ones that we found in Georgia, and Armin says that this is a small one for here, so obviously the species is a little bit bigger on average, I think. That was a nice gulp. This is a very fleeting glimpse of this guy hanging out right here, motionless. He's been moving around constantly since we caught him, but you can see those gills all floofed out, looking awesome. Trip is made, as far as I'm concerned, with this guy right here. We're gonna get out a few more times over the next couple days and hopefully be able to turn up some snakes, but if not, we got a dog, and that's what counts. You'll notice this guy has a little bit of a bump on his nose and on the side of his head. That's probably from the crawfish that were in the trap with him, or just rubbing his nose against the trap overnight. But either way, he should be fine in the end. That'll heal up. Salamanders have ridiculous regenerative abilities, so we're gonna plop this guy back in the creek and probably call it a day here. All right, guys, Armin is going to return our friend here to the creek. They don't move very well on land, but they can move on land. He's like, oh, this feels kind of good. Hanging out of the water just a little bit. He's stuck on a leaf. It's a very water dog thing to have happen. Go on. All right, guys, so we're walking around doing a little bit of looking around at night. It's cold, it's windy, but I peeked into this tarp. And there's a bunch of sleeping anoles. These are the native green anoles. A nice contrast to the invasive geckos we're seeing everywhere tonight. All right, everyone, it is the next day and we are out here in the wilds. What you got? Eddie was trying to run an intro, but these guys found a frog, so probably. That's a big greenhouse frog by the looks of it.
Is that what it is?
I think so. Non-native. Anyways, we are out here in the suburban wilds of southeast Louisiana, looking to flip some stuff today. It's cold, but it has been warm recently, so we're hoping that will mean there will be some stuff undercover. So we're gonna flip and see what we can turn up. All right, it just flipped.
Oh, and a gastrophony.
Oh, nice. A little eastern there. There's 3 species of frog under this one board. We've got 2 Gulf Coast toads, greenhouse frogs, and a little narrowmouth. Oh, there's another gastrophony right there. Name a more iconic trio. I'll wait. There we go. Beautiful timber rattlesnake. Like 55 degrees. Holy crap. Well, I was kind of expecting like a ribbon snake or something, or an earth snake, but nope, we went straight to the canebrake this morning, and I cannot complain about that. Beautiful. First and possibly only snake of the trip. Beautiful small adult male canebrake here in southeast Louisiana on a windy, blustery, cold day. Well, first snake of the day. Hopefully it won't be the last. It's like it's not even noon yet, so we've got quite a bit of day ahead of us. So we're gonna put this guy back under his board and keep flipping. All right, releasing the cane. Back under his board. Very slowly. All right, guys, we just flipped our next snake of the day. Something I was not expecting at all. This is a black masked racer. It's only the second time I've seen these in the wild. Last time I was in Louisiana, we also saw a few. All right, what a handsome racer. Obviously, these guys are much different from the southern blacks we have in Georgia. A lot of the racer subspecies you see in my videos are a little bit kind of nondescript compared to what we normally see, but this guy has a completely different background color and has that awesome black face mask that gives them their name. Steely gray color is awesome. Second snake of the day. Young 53-degree basking Neurodia. Looks like an erythrogaster. He's going. It's pretty big. Anyways, plain-bellied water snake. All right, guys, I just flipped something I was not expecting at all. This is actually a lifer, a Mississippi green water snake. These guys are kind of nondescript Neurodia, kind of look like a greenish, like muted version of Rhombifer and Taxus pilota, but they're really interesting. The female's getting massive, and just flipped this guy under a kind of unassuming shingle down by the creek. So this is actually a huge find for me. First snake lifer I've gotten in a long time, so cannot complain about that. Really cool looking Neurodia. So we got the green water snake, and then the next shingle pile over, there was a Mississippi ringneck. Check that out. There's a lifer for a couple people here, so pretty cool. All right, guys, here's one more look at this Mississippi green water snake, since this is a species you guys have never seen on my channel and might not see again for a while. These guys are super goofy looking Neurodia. They almost look like a cross between like a glossy crayfish snake and a water snake. Super strange looking animals. These guys are actually endemic to the Mississippi River drainage, as far as I know. And then as you go east into Florida, you get Florida green water snakes, which actually range into South Georgia too, but I've never seen one. So, at least in Georgia, I've seen them in Florida. But pretty cool. We're gonna put this guy back under his shingle and keep herping.
When you pulled this guy up, I thought it was a crawfish snake.
I did too. I thought it was like, it looked like a fasciata under there, and then I realized they're not fasciata here. Yeah. All right, guys, here's one more look at this ringneck before we put this guy back too. Pretty standard looking Mississippi ringneck, but I've only seen a handful of these guys, so kind of neat. Come on, phone. All right, last flip for our first spot of the day. Mouse. And lots of roaches. No snakes though. All right, guys, just pulled back this tarp, and there's a huge, beautiful eastern garter snake. Look at that guy. That is awesome. Check this guy out. Not something I was expecting to see, but something, we haven't flipped this, so don't step on it yet. But very awesome. Cold guy.
That's a life.
So cool. Look at that. Beautiful and ferocious. So awesome. Remember in my South Carolina video, I said that was the biggest garter snake I've ever seen, but that was wrong. This is definitely the biggest eastern garter snake I've ever seen. So I've mentioned before that garter snakes have a pretty gnarly bite, and you can see why. Look at those teeth. That is insane. That is so gnarly. I've never seen a garter snake do that.
Yeah.
Holy crap. We're gonna photograph this guy and put him back in his pile of trash. Well, it isn't the milk snake we were hoping for, but if this is the last snake of the day, can't really complain about it. Look at that belly. That's so sick. Anyways, it might just be an eastern garter snake, but it is a particularly cool looking one, and only the second I've ever seen in Louisiana, so I will take it. We just got back from fishing, and there's the first herp of the day. Today's even colder than yesterday. Let's see if I can find it with a spotting scope. There you go. That is an American alligator. All right, guys, we're out here flipping along this kind of brackish waterway here the next day, and just flipped a baby eel. At least that's what we think it is. It's got to be some kind of eel. Pretty cool though. Rainbow snake food. We're gonna put this guy back in the water and keep flipping. I'll let you guys know if we find any herps. So right after I ran that intro, the first kind of like herping spot we really hit today, Steven flipped over this gross bag, and there's 2 eastern garter snakes under it. A big female, I'm assuming, and a little male.
Yep. I just saw it, dude.
So this little snake is super, I guess she only has, well, no, she's got them on most of them. This is a super weird looking snake. He's got the dot on the head like a ribbon snake. Does she have a dot on her head? Kinda. But really strange looking snake. I mean, it's a Thamnophis, but I'm not really sure what to call it because all the ribbons we've seen here are very definitively ribbons. But this snake, and given the fact it was curled up with a garter snake, kind of leads me to believe this is either a garter or a ribbon garter hybrid. But I mean, these snakes are so variable, and Thamnophis is such a weird genus. I'm just gonna go with ambiguous Thamnophis on this guy for now. But awesome to see another big female garter like that. I had never seen a garter snake do this crazy fang display before, and now we've seen two do it. I mean, what on earth is going on with this thing? Crazy threat display. It must be like a cold weather defense thing where they try to make themselves look dangerous rather than fleeing. That's wild. All right, good sized board here. Oh, it's relatively intact too.
What a creature.
Well, that's the biggest Gulf Coast toad I've ever seen. Obviously, these guys have been everywhere, being on the Gulf Coast and all, but that's a sight to behold.